Guys, so this is about the feedback for the app. There's a lot of stuff going on in here, so we'll just jump right on into it. This is the first screen which I see. So what I see, there's a lot of red. I don't see this font here. These buttons are not aligned. This green is very awkward. This is not part of the new design. This button should be changed. And more preferably, we can have the tiles here, like the tiles we had in the new homepage redesign. Wait a second, I'll just okay. Anyways, yeah. So like the tiles we had in homepage redesign, we can have tiles here or something much more visually appealing. Okay, I click go. Hmm. So this is the first impression. Hmm. This is good. Home, library, Suchna, profile. So first off, this looks cluttered. This doesn't look good, and I'll go about it one by one. So first thing, sometimes new users may not be able to make sense of these categories, but I think they'll get used to it. This font and this font look different. I don't know why, but they don't seem to be the same font. They should be the same font. Maybe sometimes it happens that it seems to me that visually they are different, but that should be adjusted. They look different, they shouldn't. Second thing, this things looks very cluttered. This icon, I know it means number of readers, but it doesn't make intuitive sense. It's not a normal icon, and I think this just makes it a bit cluttered when we are also showing stars and we are also showing icons here itself, because yeah, it's just confusing. I would rather have just one thing which tells me how good this thing is. Okay, now I'm swiping this thing. This is fine. Loading is fast. App size is also just around 5 MB. That's also good. Okay, okay. This is fine. I click here. This is fine. Another visual thing. These cards can be connected together with just thin white lines in between, because this is producing a kind of an odd visual effect. Okay, okay. Stars, ऑथर, लाइब्रेरी में जोड़ें, साझा करें. Click on library में जोड़ें. You are not logged in. So this is an Android standard message, which is fine. This is in English, which is fine. साझा करें. Okay. So here there should be some kind of copy text. If this is sending me to an SMS directly, that I found this book on this something like that. If you look at a lot of like Goodreads sharing or something, it will show something like that. Okay, back to the app. So okay, this is fine. Like if I go to my library, this is showing empty. So yeah, this message is very rude and awkward. Another thing is that this says shelf, this says library. This is in English, these are in Hindi, plus their colors and italics. This is just a mess. So these kind of screens are called blank states, and we should also design for blank states, because these are places where users might just land up and not like it, and it might leave a bad taste in the mouth. So they should just say something either in Hindi preferably, or please log in to access library, or yeah, just the sign in buttons and just ask them to log in. This looks very awkward again. Suchna and Sandesh. I just see Suchna, I just see Sandesh. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I know you should be logged in. So there again, here also कि सूचनाओं पे जाने के लिए login करें, and then the login options should be there, and same for Sandesh. Okay, okay. Pratilipy, sign in, sign up. The screen looks nice. um, but one general thing is that uh, buttons should have rounded corners. So this one has rounded corners, this one has sharp corners. That looks very awkward. So there are a lot of places where buttons have sharp corners. Please change them to buttons rounded corners. Okay, back to home. So I'll click Apasdari. Okay, there are a lot of issues with this one. First thing, I don't understand why we have a cover pic for a book image. Uh, it's okay, but I just don't get it. Another thing is that when I scroll up, this name goes kind of left, and yeah, it's slightly awkward, not a serious issue, but still something to look into. Okay, visually this looks very odd, very red. Just hold on. Okay, so this looks very red, and one very big problem is that these two red buttons, there cannot be two red buttons on any screen. So one of them has to be the primary one. Apart from that, even in the new web version of hindi.com, the padhiye button is blue. So this needs to be changed. Moreover, this is also not very explanatory. Plus library, it should be add to library या library में जोड़ें or something like that. Um, Another thing, visually these are not aligned. Then again, this font and this font are different, and this is not aligned here. This goes slightly up, then this goes down. This shouldn't happen. It's written story here, rate the story, but we don't have the categories such as story or article. So the information architecture is really confusing, because I see the general trending categories in the home page, then I see Shrenya, then I see story here or article here. I think this app gives too much to a user to be confused about. And again, sharp corners here, it shouldn't have sharp corners, it should be rounded corners, like these have rounded corners. Again, this icon is for the number of reads. This is not intuitive, and this is also different from the icon on the home page. Like these small hands, they are not there on the home page icon. Similarly, this number of people who have given the rating, I don't find it intuitive. I saw that this was exactly the same thing with the Play Store, so I'm going with it. That said, overall this is also not visually very well aligned. You can, this guy is kind of like hanging, it's like he drop here. It should be visually symmetric, at least in the first impression, before user has done any action. When I click on library button, it takes me to sign in. I click on Google, it does nothing. I click on Facebook, it does nothing. And again, there is a lot of red here. This should be the normal Facebook color, this should be the normal Google sign in color. These should not both, and even this, they should not be red. Again, the font looks slightly kind of vertically compressed here. It should be like this. These two are not the same font. This is some kind of resizing issue or something. And ideally password should give me an eye here, an eye icon, uh, through which I can see or not see the password. This is a very big problem in login screens. Anyways, okay, I can scroll up, I can see the tippaniya. Okay, one thing which is not here right now, but I'll come to it later, is that sometimes they're good reviews, but there are no stars whatsoever. It's like all gray. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, you cannot have 0 stars, so that needs to be looked into. Okay, now let me just go to the reader, because that's most important. One more thing, when I click this, nothing happens. So I think it's very intuitive for any user to click on the book's image. Something should happen clicking on book's image, and preferably it should open. So nothing happens here. I click padhiye. Okay, this is another thing. This is not part of the app. Okay, so most important thing here is that my intuitive first action, and I've also looked at other people, and it's also there in the web reader, is to scroll upwards. So what will typically happen is when somebody opens first time, they'll scroll upwards because that's what they used to. So when somebody does that action, the app should notify him to scroll sideways. In the best case, there should always be an option to like have a default option of vertical scrolling, and then a setting says okay, you can scroll sideways. But because that'll take time, at least we can do is like if something, just have a notifications of this swipe sideways. Okay, this looks good, clean and nice. I like the font and I like the color of the font. Text setting look good. Again, a lot of red here, but at least it's not hurting usability. So this looks fine. This looks really good. I like it that it's not a slider, it's a plus and minus. These are intuitive and helpful. Okay, let me make the text a bit more smaller, 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 smaller. Okay, when I make it more smaller, I should see a notification that this is the minimum size. Not really critical, but anyways. So now what, why I made it smaller? To show something that this is not justified. You can see like these awkward rivers on the side, and they will be awkward a lot of time. So this is odd. Plus the paragraphs should have some spacing in between, like after every paragraph there should be some space in an ideal case. Okay, this is fine. Line spacing is fine. Okay, chapter 1 of 1 is a bit confusing. So yeah, this is not intuitive because if this is an article or a story, it should not have chapters. So this is awkward. And also there is no slider, and I think slider is very important because I need to have a sense of how big is the book which I'm reading. So if I don't have a slider, then I feel a bit confused, like how big is it, how much time do I invest in reading this. So that's why I think medium says like a 6 minute read or 10 minute read, but in medium you will never have like a 1 hour read which you can have here. So yeah, whenever I try to read a book, I see how thick it is, like, so we really need to have a slider here. I'm sure you guys already know about it, but I'm just saying it's more critical. Now one another very critical mistake is like I don't have a way to go back home. So when I am in the reader, I can, again nothing happens when I click this. Then there's I okay, sorry. Now the moment I want to, I'm not interested in this book and I want to discover other books, there is no way for me to go back. I mean, yeah, I can change the text, yeah, I can bookmark, yeah, I can write a review, I can also go to author details, but I don't really care. I want to go back home. So if I hit back, I'm again the book. So my only option is this Android back button. Now this makes the interaction very awkward or non-intuitive. One solution which can be there is to put a home button in this hamburger menu. And I think because we're anyways having it, we might move some of the options from here to here because there's a lot of sorry, lot of options here, lot of ways to go here and there and stuff like that. We could move here because here we are just wasting space for most of the books. Yes, something like Alif Lela, which is not opening on my device by the way, and the app is crashing when I open it, might be useful, but you have to check the ratio of content which uses this thing versus content which will just have mostly this stuff is blank. So this is there. If I add bookmark, nothing is happening. If I click bookmarks, nothing happens. If I add to library, nothing happens. My library, nothing happens. Maybe this is because I'm not logged in yet, but this should happen. I mean, this should give me some kind of notification or feedback that I need to log in. This is the best part of the reader. Okay, I go to write review, nothing happening again. Detail page, I'm here. Okay, I can go back. I don't know if detail page is really needed here, but anyways, it's fine. Author details. This button was blue in the web design, but anyways, what else? Okay, so author page. This is again not visually aligned. There is a lot of gap here, no gap here. This looks visually odd. Another important thing is that uh, there should either be a comma here for the thousands operator, or this should be like 5.97k. This just looks odd to read. Apart from that, I think this is some backend error also, because he cannot have 59,750 on Rachna. Prakashit Rachna is published works, 4 published is fine, but what does Rachna even mean here? Like, what is this number showing? I don't know, 60,000 what? Like drafts? I don't know. गतिविधि लॉग आपके बारे में परिचय. ओके, प्रतिलिपि के साथ और देखें. ओके. Oh wow. So now this is becoming view less. This should be come देखें. It should not be और देखें. I'm sorry, it should not be view less. Again, followers following, these bars look awkward. Maybe just a blank state message, like, or a zero bracket here, because this is just kind of meaningless. Yes, people will interpret it, but it's still awkward. It should have something like no followers yet, nobody following yet. Mm, oh, what's happening? Oh, I can follow. Oh, I say sign in. Okay, let me sign in. Gaurav at pratilipi.com. Oh, now you guys can see my password. Doesn't matter. Okay, I written my password. I say again, this should be Hindi. Sign in. Login successful. F was capital. I don't know why. Okay, I'm following him. Now I can see this is fine. I'm following. This is fine. Rounded corners are fine, but the rounded corners in this one and rounded corners of the button don't have the same radius. They should have the same radius. Maybe this can be same as that, or that can be same as this, which is fine, but they should not be different. It's making it inconsistent. Okay, share is fine. Also, the text looks awkward. For Prakashan Karya, this can be just for Prakashan. प्रकाशित रचनाएं for Prakashan. What are these options? लाइब्रेरी में जोड़ें, साझा करें, ऐसे लाइब्रेरी में जोड़ें, वापसी into library. Maybe they should be two, associate to library into library. Sounds awkward to me. गतिविधि लॉग आपके बारे में परिचय. फॉलोअर्स 1, गौरव 0 followers. I don't have any followers. Okay, if I click my name, okay, I'm here again. I don't know why Rachna is 18. I just have one published work. That's in Tamil. That's cool. Nobody likes me, which is fine. Why do I have this cover image? I don't understand. Because this should either be a blank image, or I just don't know. I just don't know why is this default image here. I didn't put it. I don't know what will be the feedback of other authors for this. I I would rather have a blank image because it will give me an indication that I need to, yeah, put in a good cover image. But default image, I don't get it. Okay, that's quite a mouthful, but there is still. Okay, how do I go home? How do I go home? Okay, Android back button. Okay, so now the thing is, this is a persistent menu. Uh, but this is. mm okay, again, I want to go back to my library, but I can't go back instead of on the instead. Only I only have my back button. So this persistent menu is not really helping me because it goes out when I really need it. Okay, yeah, another thing. This font and this font are not same again. Yep, they should be same. I don't know why they are different. And they should not be or dekhing here because there is nothing to see. It's just one line. So in this case, this thing shouldn't be there at all. Following three, they should have rounded corners. And I'm trying to drag it up, but it's not going up. I don't know why I am following three people. If I click here, then I can see my three followers, no data. Again, this is a blank state. Blank state should be taken care of more carefully. It just says say कि in Hindi whatever that आपके अभी कोई follower नहीं है. Plus this is in English as in this is in the Latin script, whereas the follow करें thing is in Hindi. So that language part is also inconsistent. So for example, mm, let us say I go to home. I click Devansh. I want to follow Veena Matsal Singh. So here it's saying Hindi follow करें. Click. It's unfollow. So there should be a Hindi word for this. It should not change to English. Follow na kare maybe something like that, but need to figure it out. Again cover. Okay, so now I can add this to library. This should be an action button like add to library. Oh, so now I clicked Padiye by mistake. I want to go back. I'll have to use my Android back button. Okay, click add to library processing minus library. Uh, okay, I don't get it. Add to library minus library. Is this minus? If I add to library, I think the button here should be go to library. And in my library, I should have the option of removing from library, not here. That's my opinion, but you can have some user feedback there. But they should not be. Plus, the button itself should not show processing. It looks odd because it's processing pretty fast. Maybe there can be some delay, or the processing message can show here as an Android notification, but library processing. Okay, but anyways, they should not be this minus button here. They should be go to library. And again, this is Hindi, this is English. This should be Hindi. Like this is again Hindi, and this is an action button. This is an action button. They're both in Hindi. Anyways, this is what I was talking about. वीणा जी बहुत ही अच्छा लगा है आपने कुछ लाइन तो बिल्कुल छू ही गई बट दिस इज नो रेटिंग हियर आई डोंट गेट इट हाउ कैन दिस बी 0 stars so maybe they just didn't give stars so in that case this should show no rating given because this just means 0 stars to me which just doesn't mean anything. Okay, this works fine. I'm not sure if this icon is open source because this was not the open iconic icon which I had sent earlier in the design. So if it as far as open source, it's fine. Khushbu. Okay, if I click on Khushbu, nothing is happening. Think I should be able to see who is Khushbu if I click here. If I click on Amit, nothing is happening. Okay. I want to rate the story. I give it 4. So again, this is standard Android green color. रद्द करें, हटाएं, स्वीकृत करें. Why are they both red? They should be one should be gray and one should be uh, I don't know. I can't think straight right now. But red text for these is odd and rad kare is also odd. I mean, they should change. Plus, this is again English. This should be Hindi. Plus, this is tippani likhe. They should also be tippani likhe probably. हटाएं. Okay. So if I say हटाएं versus if I say रद्द करें, what's the difference? Because it just takes me back, and this keyboard should also come directly. I shouldn't have to click again for the keyboard. If I say रद्द करें, then it also takes me back. This should not be this way. हटाएं रद्द करें should mean different things. Quite a mouthful. What? Sometimes people also click this button for going home. So if I'm at library and if I click this, I should go home. This is doing nothing. Again, blank state. Suchna hai Sandesh. So while a Sandesh section is here, there is no way for me to send a Sandesh to Veena Vatsal thing. So that is it. Let me see what I have missed. Card spacing, red buttons, English fonts, reads icon. Yeah, this reads icon I covered. Language selection, clutter, Hindi fonts are not same. Awkward pictures. Okay, so yeah, I think book pictures are a very key part of UX. Obviously, they are dynamic. Last time when I was seeing, they were different. Now they are different, but there should be some way to kind of curate them more properly, or at least ensure that good pictures show up here in on the first page. Because in my earlier screenshot I was seeing I'm running this in an emulator, and on my phone I was seeing a picture in which there was a woman's head cut off. I mean, there was this body without the head, and head was like here. It just looks awkward. They should be shreni, yeah. They should be plural. Panyas. This looks nice and clean. Okay, this is roughly what I have to say till now. Oh, I have a awesome. Huh. Oh, this is Shankar. Let me just say hi. दर्ज करें, रद्द करें. Okay, I would like to दर्ज it. So again, if this is darj and rad, then why is the comment, I mean the tippani likhe darj and rad? And how come this is now edit review? This should be edit tippani. How is this English? They should be darj kare then. Language is not consistent. Okay. Abhishek, excellent. Abhishek again. Okay. That's pretty much. So I hope this helps. Overall, the flow needs some work, visuals need some serious work, and yeah, I guess you guys will take care of it anyways.